Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a special guest with us, Jim Decker. Jim is Vice President of Investor Relations of Antiochia Gold, which can be traded as AGD on the TSX Venture and as AGDXF on the OTCQX. Thanks, Jim, for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction into Antiochia Gold.
Thank you for having me, Jeb.
Jim, you have decades of experience in the mining industry. You also have experience in Colombia, which has become a exciting jurisdiction for mining companies, as it's one of the few areas where we've seen small miners such as Antiochia get permitted. Talk to us about Colombia and the recent news of receiving your environmental license to start production in 2017.
Okay, Colombia is one of the strongest countries in South America for legal systems and political stability. They have a very good system in place, completely parallel to what we do in North America, and particularly with mining and environmental licensing and permitting. And so, in our case, we've got two deposits that make up the Cisneros project. They're basically side by side, and we license them separately. The first license for the Huayco project, we obtained that in about the period of time was less than 2 years, and we then started construction and development in October 2015. And at that time, we began permitting process for the second deposit, Guayabito, which is also the location for the process plant. And it took us about 20 months to get the second license. We made an initial application on a draft basis. The regulatory bodies reviewed it and asked us to make some changes, which we went back to the drawing board, made those suggested changes, which were definite improvements. And when we resubmitted it, it was approved within 5 weeks, and that was last November 2016. And we are now fully permitted and fully funded, and all steam ahead.
Jim, give us a background into Colombia. We know that it's very rich in gold, but a lot of these reserves have been sort of untapped because of a civil war. Talk to us about this history and what makes it so exciting right now, as there's been some exciting developments towards peace in Colombia over the past couple of years.
Okay, first of all, a very quick background. Colombia is very rich in all kinds of resources. It is one of the largest coffee producers in the world. It's more than self-sufficient in oil and gas. It is one of the world's larger producers of coal. I think it's third only to Holland and Chile for production of flowers, and it's very big in textiles. And so and it's a very large producer of gold. I believe it's in the top 10 in the world for gold production. So it's a very rich country in its own right. However, the gold potential has been held back for all those years of the Civil War because it was extremely dangerous to go into the jungles or the out of the way places where there was danger of kidnapping in particular. So foreign companies did not want to go into Colombia to explore. With the advent of first President Uribe, basically getting something like 14,000 of 23,000 guerrillas to lay down their arms, and most recently President Santos having signed an agreement where essentially the balance of the FARC have laid down their arms and accepted amnesty. So we now have a very stable country. There's no more fear of kidnapping and crime, and so the untapped resources, particularly of gold, is now wide open for exploration. And it really, in my opinion, is one of the last few places in the world with enormous gold reserve potential that has largely been untapped for at least the last 50, 60 years. And with all the modern technology we have now and the desire for more gold, the timing is absolutely perfect.
Yes, and what's great about Colombia is the high grade gold mines that are there, and especially there have been so many companies that have come down there in recent years, but Antiochia is one that has survived and that is actually moving towards commercial gold production and getting permitted. So talk to us about where Antiochia is in this construction of this gold mine, and what has made you one of the unique survivors throughout this bear market and in Colombia.
Okay, we basically found the deposit and made a commercial deal 10 years ago. Went public in 2008, and since that time we've done a considerable amount of diamond drilling and exploration, and we outlined a total resource, inferred, indicated, and measured, of about 330,000 ounces. And we have a 43 an NI 43-101 report that states 270,000 ounces in total. It's a quite a high grade deposit. That the overall average of that is 5 grams a ton, and our mining grade for the plans that we've developed will be higher than that. It will be of the order of 7 to 9. So what we decided, we made a corporate decision that we could continue drilling for a couple of more years, spend another $3 to $5 million and develop a resource, let's say, to 500,000 ounces, or we could start a smaller operation that would have nominally a 6 to 7 year mine life at somewhere between just an average of 30,000 ounces a year, with a low capex of the order of 40 to 50 million dollars that we would be able to finance through loans and paid back in less than 2 years, and then use the cash flow from that to further explore for building up more reserves. So that's the decision that we made, and in October 2015 is when we got started developing, and we're now on pace to start processing gold in the third quarter of this year, somewhere between July and September.
So talk to us about the mine and the building and the processing that the company is currently working on.
Okay, we have, as I said, we have 2 deposits, Guayco and Guayabito. Each of them have approximately 60 to 70,000 mineable ounces. That's extractable mineable ounces over this period. At the Guayco mine, which we started developing, as I said, in October 2015, we were essentially ready to go there. We've developed a decline, 4.5 by 4 meters, and it's now down more than 1 kilometer in length, and down about 130 meters in depth. And we have several mining stopes developed and ready to go. And as a matter of fact, we are extracting some ore and stockpiling it in preparation to be ready for when the plant is ready. And so that side of things is very well advanced. We have infrastructure in place. We have shops for the contractor. We have an underground powder magazine, or excuse me, explosives magazine, and office buildings and so on that site. And the Guayabito site is only 2 kilometers away. It's just basically over the hill. We are well underway there. We've developed all the access roads. The platforms are being cleared and prepared. That is, the civil works are being prepared for the basis for the process plant and the other infrastructure like the shop, office, and camp All that work is underway. The topsoil recovery is complete. The camp installation is probably half complete already. The access roads to the portal is done, and we're basically working on the portal development as I speak, and probably will be into the hard rock portion of that within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we're very well advanced, and so that as far as the plant goes, the majority of the long lead time items components are already on site. The main jaw crusher, screening components, secondary crusher are on site. The ball mill is on its way, as is the gravity circuit from Vancouver is on the way. So we will have all of the main components for the plant ready on site for when the concrete structures are in place. So when the foundations and everything else are ready, we will have the components ready to install, put them in place. It's a very small plant. We're starting out with 250 tons a day, and by the end of the year, we'll add a second circuit to take us up to 500 tons a day. The crusher has a capacity of 750 tons a day, and the single ball mill has a capacity of almost 500 tons a day by itself. But we will be adding a second milling circuit as well, and the product will be a 50 to 55% of the product will be a high grade gravity concentrate, approximately as high as 2,000 grams per ton, and the flotation concentrate will make up another 40 to 45%. And it'll be in the grading of 150 to 200 grams per ton. We will be shipping concentrate in bags. We will not be producing doré. And the other thing that's important is we will not be using cyanide at all. It'll strictly be gravity and flotation separation.
Jim, as we conclude, talk to us about the significance of being backed by a Peruvian group that has experience with mining and operation and has been a strong financial backer.
Yes, we are backed by a private Peruvian company called Infinita Minera Prosperidad. They are a private company out of Peru. They are associated with a big. They're sort of the exploration arm of a company called Consorcio Minero Horizonte, and they have 2 operating mines in Peru that last year produced 220,000 ounces from the one major mine called Parcoy, and it's in the sort of north central Peru. And down in the southern end of Peru, close to Puno, they have a second mine which produced about approximately 40,000 ounces of gold. So on a combined basis, they privately produced 260,000 ounces of gold in 2016. They own about 70% of our outstanding shares. They are backstopping our loan to finance the project, which is fully financed that way, and they have provided a tremendous amount of technical expertise on the mine planning and the mineral processing side of things. So we're in very good hands. They're excellent partners, and they have a lot of interest in Colombia as well, and they see Antiochia as sort of the first wave leading the way.
Jim Decker, VP of Antiochia Gold, which can be traded as AGD on the TSX Venture and as AGDXF on the OTCQX. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Jim.